Great sunrise, family. Today's discussion is on raising children amongst out of order system. And I'm going to give my assertion into everything. And of course, as nature would have it, once again, it's always going to come to this thing that people have created and called race. Race. Because you can't get around what anything that has been done. You can say it's happened 160 years ago because in the minds of those who are not like us, of course the world is supposed to be a certain way for them. In their minds, the world's supposed to be a certain way for you as well. And that's unfortunate that they feel like we should be acclimated or more like they are when we're a very different set aside people. And this system and the way of life that they have created, we're going to go because first I want to look at the way of life because you have been handheld into walking down a road of peace, but peace for who? Of love, but love for who? Because, like I said before, there is good and evil, there is a devil, and there is a God. But once you realize, your skin is it's more than skin deep, it's more than the skin on your face, it's more than our race, then you can understand that it's a lot more to it. That the race is an indicator for you to know what would be good for you to live in life, what is good for you, so you can make decisions on living, whether you want a life or do you want death. That is just that is just it. So basically, when we look at life, we look at life as living, not interfering with other life or livelihoods, respecting life. That's the love, showing love for life is respecting life for what it is. Not trying to change anything in life biologically. That's true love, accepting it for what it is, what it has been manifested into on this earth to function on this earth. That's meaning a man accepting himself for being a man, a woman accepting herself for being a woman, us accepting animals for being animal and living in nature the way it's supposed to live, not trying to change its behavior, tame it down, take away its ferociousness, which is its nature, not pulling anything from its nature to make it more like we are, because that's unnatural. That's when you're getting into the unnatural. You're trying to do the supernatural. You're trying to transition something so beautiful, which is nature, into something that it isn't. You're taking away its innocence, its ability to thrive. You hate life at that point when you do those things. You don't have no respect for that type of life when you when you go and you invade and you discard and you try to overpower, that's called the ego. And that is a form, that is an energy, and that's going to bring that horrible energy into life. And that doesn't just affect you, that will affect the animals and affect that person that you're disregarding their sex. And you're saying it's okay for you to transition to from a man to a woman, but you're causing that person to have issues when you create a a medical procedure that allows them to cut off their manhood and make it into a femalehood. You cause emotional discourse, you cause issues within that person because that person wasn't aware of just how much damage they were going to do to themselves until after the fact. This is just the natural order and natural laws of nature. You're going to pay one way or the other eventually, and everybody in that energy has to pay the price as well, unfortunately. But because if you were and this is how you know that that in race, when you talk about the white and you want to talk about the black, let's just, for this conversation, we're going to say we have the white and we have the black. Okay. The black is sacred. Black is always going to be sacred. The white is the newcomer. The white is the newcomer. Hold on, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So the white is Johnny come lately. The black is sacred and been here since and before the beginning, way before the beginning of time. Um, excuse me, I had to cough. Oh, so basically, the white has been ruled by their ego. And ego is something that is not ever going to be able to be let go by them. Because you see, we had a system that taught us to not allow that ego to overtake us. That's why I consider us a balanced people. But if your outside system is imbalanced, of course you're going to be and have an imbalanced. Uh, you're going to be imbalanced within as you are outside, unless you're raised and you grew up in a balanced system. And we're far from that. We have energies roaming around in this system. We have really horrible, pitiful energies running around attacking us on a daily basis. And that is no fault of ours that we are in a system created by egoistic people, and we're still trying to thrive in that. We're still trying to thrive in an egoistic system. There is, like I said before, I'm sorry that it keeps cutting out, but there's no making sense. There's no making sense of it whatsoever. Because the whole thing is, I talked about it a long time ago that once you set the precedents for standards and you sanctified it and we support it unknowingly, that in a way is that is what actual voodoo looks like. It looks like when someone has they call when they have, because in their history they say they have conquered a people. They have won a battle or a war. So when you have battles and you have wars, hold on. Okay, I apologize for that. I'm back. So when you set the present upon something and you sorry, my mic is starting to act up now. Let me fix this. And you try to build upon it. Didn't Poltergeist, the movie, show you what happens when you build a house on top of and you desecrate and you have desecrated the people's grave? So anybody living upon the system, yes, the system itself is a curse. Basically, the system itself is a curse. Who wants to be in that? Who wants to be in that energy? Let me tell you a story about me. I seem way ahead of everything. My plan was not to raise my children in this system. My plan was not to raise my children in this place, or to raise them more learning what hard work was, on a farm, to live life, to live life, that you have to work, you have to grow your garden, you have to grow your foods to live. That's the real ideal way of life. That's the real dream. But once again, egos, and it tells you the devil will entice you to want to be a certain way, be in his way. And that is so true. That is so true. So basically, you have already been enticed by the devil. I don't care how much religion you think you got in you. When they built your house on top of a desecrated graves, the energies are floating around you. You're going to get, we're going to get the same thing that the conjurers, conquerors, the conjurers, the ones who conjured, the ones who conquered, and feel like because they're not educated or they're not knowledgeable in what the energies and once again, if they were the true Egyptians ever, they would know this and they would have made the world balanced. But instead, because you're not the true Egyptians, you made the world in an imbalanced place and don't want to take no credit for it, but see it as a normal thing because it is your world and that's normal for you. But it's not our world, and we know that something is out of order because it's not our world. We can't function in it. It's not of our nature. Like that dog that was once a wolf and now turned into a domestic beast that needs you and depends on you to take him to the vet, to have insurance on him, to make a mate so he can have babies, families. Depends on you. The female dog that depends on you just to help her give birth. The horse that depends on you to help them give birth because you want to use that horse for your own egoistic needs, and that's gambling to make money. That Benjamin Franklin has conveniently made excess for you through his own ego. You have held Black people's hands down a road to your world, which for you is peace and love, but for us is not. For us, it's destruction of our nature, just like the destruction of the dog's nature. He's no longer that wolf that can survive on his own out in the wilderness. Or like that man who thought in his mind, his confused mind, twisted mind, somehow he wanted to be a woman, but the doctor and their procedures chose to make him a woman that he wasn't even prepared to be. He wasn't prepared to take on such a big task of transforming himself into something he never was supposed to be. It was a mental issue that he didn't understand that could have been resolved through understanding that he is his mom and he is his dad, and that he, he's already both. So what's the need to take away from your nature and make you one, or just make you one, when you should have been born already into the world if that was your purpose? But that is not your purpose. That's taking you out from your purpose. That's cursing you. That's putting that energy within you that's making your life chaotic. And your life is going to be chaotic because death is what is waiting you. And death is not nobody's fault. Death is something that comes, and you are warned in the Bible about that. You are warned in all religions about that. That if you cross a certain line, we tell our children, don't go across that street when they're 6 years old, 5 years old by themselves. But once they do, death happens because people can't always see when they're driving. So whose fault is it that the child did not listen to their parents? Is it the driver that comes down the street and wasn't aware of the child playing in that shouldn't have been in the street, a busy road? We all get told not to cross a certain line. You have no sacredness within you once you have crossed the line of life and taken life into your own hands, because your own mind, your own egoistic mind tells you that you are white. And because you are white, you have the right to decide how life on the planet is. So basically, white people say that there's too much life on the planet. Carbon is too high, rising too high. So we need to kill off some people off the planet. What's the logic in that? Who's who said that you were the ruler of the planet to kill people off because of carbon? Because the planet is changing. Don't you know? So you want to stop nature from functioning the way the nature is supposed to function. You are That's the ego. When you can say we have to kill off people because of carbon, because of global warming, because of the earth. We have to monitor. So we have to set up, who set up Planned Parenthood and set up birth control and all of this? It's a system that is doomed to, like the House and Poltergeist. The House and Poltergeist, when they fought against the energies, there was no fighting against the energies. That movie was so powerful that members that played of the actors and actresses, they passed away from cancer. That movie was a powerful movie. It was more than what the eye could see to it, but it set the president. It set it here for me to utilize it because it's that powerful of a movie, and it did influence me in my life, you know. um because you build on top of something. It's an energy filled, it's an energy that you have built with that. But in their minds, because they're young, they think everything is okay, but they don't know it's their own doing. And they can't sit up and look at us and say, look at them, because it's your own doing. So when you say, look at them, they're this, they're that, it is idiotic to say that. But it's okay. You can say whatever you want. It's a free world. But I want you to know, when you press judgment on a Black person because they're doing what your energy, what you have created, what your energy has given them, that goes back to my other video. You're ignorant and there's no sense in you. It makes no sense. You can't have it both ways. You can't be the good, and when you created a bad, when you took people out of their nature and you said it was okay not to build them, not to amend. But here's what I'm going to do to fix it. I'm going to kill off people because we got too many people on the planet. I'm going to do all kinds of things that I can to control it. I don't know what you do about the wolves that you have turned into domestic animals, which has been a problem more than it has helped anything on the earth, because you have an overwhelming breeds of dogs that when people die, they have no place to go. People can't always take care of something else that is not human, that is an animal. That's a burden that you bring into this world. When you transition, when you transform. If you were the real Egyptians, you would already know this. You wouldn't even try it. If you were the real Egyptians, you would have known about energy that you have uprooted on this land called America. you would understand the curse that you put upon yourself. And you made it worse. You would understand the destructions that were to come from what decisions that you have made. And you would have hightailed it out of here a long time ago. Long time ago. But you're not. And you're still here. And you're dealing with things in the wrong manner. Well, yeah, he said, that guy from Texas said Egypt banned Kevin Hart for saying the real Egyptians were black. Yeah. We're going to get to the heart of it because the real Egyptians were black and the real Egyptians are still there. I've seen them, the Sudanese, the Ethiopians, the dark Ethiopians, not the light skinned, not the mixed Ethiopians, because I did stay over there in Bahrain, and I was amongst many, 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 many different people. The energy was exuberating to me being there. You know, I met all kinds of people, French, British, Irish, and like I said, the energies there were exuberating. It was nothing bad for me. Even though there were bad things going on, but I don't know why. Um, there was a lot of bad things going on. And then the energy started uprooting. I started sensing the energies. I've had to deal with the energies, the negative, the bad energies start attacking. See, everything is peaceful at first, but then those energies do come out and arise eventually. And that's what happened, you know. So there's no good energy there anywhere on the earth right now. If there was good energy, you know, everything would be great. Everything would be great. But not everything's 100% as you think it is in this place that we're existing in right now. It may look that way, but it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. And but sometimes your energy can, you know, I think my energy carried me through as much as it could when I was over there overseas until, you know, it just couldn't. It started getting attacked by the other energies, you know. So this is just this is just the facts of things, unfortunately. Because there's no understanding of this and there's only envy and wanting to take over who we are as a people and don't want to take the time out to understand, even though there are some people that do genuinely want to understand it. There's a large majority that can't and don't want to choose to. And I think that's a problem because they influence the others to be ignorant and not to learn or not to be able to to grow. They stop growth before anybody can grow. Hmm. But we're going to look at some ways. We're going to look at some ways that the energies have caused uh, destruction amongst us in the Black community. And one of the big ways is raising our children, is how we're raising our children. Do you think that it's possible? Yes, it's possible, but we have to be careful about how, excuse me, about how we raising our children. We have to be very careful about how we're raising our children in this place. Hey, Benj Rising, Grand Rising to you too. Uh, so back on that, they suppress the Bantu people all over the land. They have suppressed us into being in a low state of existence so that we can strive to only stay within a low state of existence. If you think Jay-Z and Beyonce are in a high state of existence, raise your, if you think that Jay-Z and Beyonce are in a high state of existence, you are sadly mistaken, because they're not. They're not in a high state of existence. Unfortunately, they're within the ego really, really bad. So they're all wounded up, just like the man who thought that he wanted his sex changed and now is in a state of peril, of troubles, of confusion, of being angry because he can't understand why this man that he wants to accept him can't accept him. Because that's what you bring. You bring in turmoil to your life, because not everybody's on the not everybody's on that. Not everybody's on that. Yeah, Beyonce and Jay-Z are brought and paid for. I agree with that. They are brought and paid for. Unfortunately, until we get our own music and back into our own, amongst us ourselves, our own secret, until we realize we need our own secret society, that we are a sacred people and we need to safeguard certain things about ourselves. We don't need to be like America has become the land and spread our legs out wide and allow anybody and everything, all these other energies within us. We do not, our music is sacred. What we create is sacred. What we do is sacred as a people. But when we have been desecrated like we have, we open ourselves, we allow everybody and anybody to do our energies. That's not the way of life for us. Unfortunately, that is not the way of life for us, because the conditions that have been made for us, which was kill off our people to conquer or conjure up this energy that they have conjured up, a bad energy. And that's why I said that's why people say they can never be for us because they're a whole different, they have already been for them. They've already conquered and conjured up the energy they needed to overtake us and to put us in the position we're in today. They've already done that. It's already done. So this is what we get. This is a picture of a mother and her 8-year-old son who were murdered by the 15-year-old son. And in my title picture, I had the picture of the 10-year-old who murdered his mom. And this is what happens to us when we are continuing in the system that has been conjured, the energies that have been conjured up for us to be like them and live like them. It's going to get worse for us. It's going to get worse for us. It's very unfortunate, but it's sad. It's going to get worse for us. This 8-year-old baby, his mother, it's sad that the 15-year-old killed his sibling too. It's very sad. Didn't care. Didn't even care. Didn't even care. These are the energies that are roaming around us. This is the foundation that this house was built on. And it's not going to stop. I mean, you can't you can't legislate it your way out of this. And I've been trying to tell people, you can't legislate. We're not going to legislate our way out of these things. We're not going to march on Seldom Bridge and think that the spirits are going to lie down. We're not going to. No, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. You know, I've been around this place and I felt many, many things. And, you know, it's just bad. It's horrible. And, I tried to have solutions. I have no solution. There's no solution for me, at least right here. Because the children shouldn't be raised with that energy of materialism. And it's happening in Africa. Children are being raised with materialism. It's happening all over the earth here. Because tech guys got technology geared towards what the children want to enjoy. And, all that stuff is not all that, it cracks up to be, and that we think it's all neat and nice and, ooh, this is cool. No. Gee, anything they create is going to cause some kind of form of destruction. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. So you're around. You think Tariq Nasheed is manipulative, and we are around. We are dealing with a trillion of Tariq Nasheeds. A zillion. of manipulations. Of So we're not just dealing with one or two or three people that look like us. Matter of fact, we're not even seeing them. They are energies. And that is deep. They're not on YouTube trying to encourage you to do this and do that. they're not um they're not amongst the secret society trying to gear everything towards. They are in a way, but they're working in the shadows. There are energies. So not only are we dealing with the physical manifestations of these things, we're dealing with the energies of manipulation, of because it was born out of what all that these egos have done on the earth. It was born out of that. And the more they do, the more we have to deal you're going to have to deal with. Unfortunately, the more we have to deal with. So, raising children amongst out of order system is is really no win for us. Because if it was a win, like I said, we would be having our young men doing skills, which is important. Are we gearing them towards a hand skill? I'd say if we start now, we probably have a chance. Because what I see is men, because I own my home, I have to see these men, and I see a lot of brothers because the area I'm in Virginia, there's a lot of brothers, there's a lot of older men but they don't really necessarily have their own. There's some that have their own business, but there's some that just work for other people, which I encourage you, if you have a skill, get your own business, get your own equipment, and stand on your own legs. Because, and then and then have some kind of program where you can teach young men how to do these skills that are important in detriment to our community, rather than want to follow the Yellow Brick Road, which really doesn't exist, because that Yellow Brick Road is really, it's really a fossil of some sort of life that was once existing, but somehow fossilized and became looking like a road, but it's not. But it's a fossil. So it is important, like I said, for us to win back the minds of our youth in some sort of way, and then to allow them to um, be in the ways of these energies. These energies are strong. Uh, they've already set the precedent for it to live like they did the wolf, when they made the wolf dependent on the man. they made the wolf out of its nature. Now it cannot survive. It's dependent. And like I said the other day, something has to pay for that. But the whole thing is something allowed for those things. So, let me read over this article about the young man who recently, you know, attorney for 10-year-old Wisconsin boy accused of killing his mom asked to lower bail to boy's piggy banks savings. The boy has no savings except for birthday money and change he had scrounged from couch cushions. Attorneys for 10-year-old Wisconsin boy accused of shooting his mother to death has requested that the child's bail be lowered from 50,000 to 100, or roughly the money he has in his piggy banks. Benjamin Franklin strikes again. During a hearing last Wednesday, attorney Angela Cunningham asked that the boy's bond be lowered. My team and I have spoken to him about his ability to post anything. Cunningham told the court, according to WTMJ TV, he told us about piggy banks with savings that he had from gifts, from birthday gifts, and scavenging through cushions and the couch that he's been able to save up. Prosecutors say that the boy killed his mother after she refused to buy him an expensive virtual reality gaming system. I wanted to, for some reason, Ebenezer Scrooge came back to mind because we're in that time of the year for them. And Ebenezer Scrooge, in the story, he had to go around and see how he affected the family that of the people that worked with him for him. And he really did affect a lot of people. He had them living in poverty. He did all kinds of things to people in his own life. And he had to see that, what he had done. And he had to, to make a long story short, he had to amend for it. The energies made him look and see what he caused, and he had to amend for it. That's what he had to do. Boy 10 accused of fatally shooting mom because he was angry she wouldn't buy him virtual reality headset. On November the 21st, Kiana Mann, 44, was shot in the eye at close range at her Milwaukee home, allegedly by her son, who has not been publicly named due to his age, according to the complaint. The complaint alleges that after the shooting, the boy first tried hiding the gun and then told his older sister their mother was shot. And the sister called 911. Then the child allegedly used Mann's keys to remove the gun from her locked gun safe at about 7 a.m. November the 21st. He allegedly told detectives he'd taken the gun out because he was angry. Mann had woken him up 30 minutes early, and because he was upset that she would not let him buy the headset from Amazon. want to keep up with the latest crime coverage, sign up for blah, 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 blah. One day after the killing, he logged into his deceased mother's Amazon account to buy the Oculus virtual reality headset anyway. The complaint alleges after the shooting, the child initially told police he shot his mom accidentally, per the complaint. He was allowed to stay home with his family at that point. However, the next day, relatives called police with concerns about whether the 10-year-old was telling the truth. According to the complaint, he allegedly later told his aunt he had actually been aiming the gun at his mother. Family members told detectives the child experienced rage issues his whole life. The complaint says at 4 years old, the boy allegedly held his puppy by the tail and whirled him around until the dog whined and howled in pain. He also allegedly started a fire in the home by filling a balloon with flammable liquids and setting it aflame, per the complaint. A family member also told investigators the little boy has 5 different imaginary people that talk to him. These imaginary people are described as 2 sisters, an old lady, 2 men, the complaint states. The child has been charged as an adult with first-degree reckless homicide and an alternative charge of first-degree intentional homicide. He is currently being held on $50,000 bond, and he has not yet entered a plea. Attorneys for the boy did not return people's request for comment. So that's it on that. Let's see. Let me put the mothers. Let me see if I should talk about their story. Let me go back to good page. This happened January the 10th, 2020, earlier in the year. A 15-year-old boy is in custody after sources said the teen allegedly shot and killed his mother and his 8-year-old brother in Prince George County, Maryland. Sources added he also shot his father, but the father survived. The shooting took place in 8500 block of Wendy Street in Clinton. Police confirmed Thursday night officers responded to the home around 5:50 p.m., where they found the woman and child deceased. Prince George County Police identified the victims as 44-year-old Toledo Oxley and 8-year-old Asa Oxley. The man suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police searched the area for the teen suspect and found him in the neighborhood. He is charged with first and second degree murder, first and second degree attempted murder, and related charges. He has admitted to the shootings. He is in custody of the Department of Corrections. Investigators are working to determine the circumstances leading up to the shooting. If anyone has any information, please call Prince George's Crime Solvers Mm-mm-mm. These energies. But some of us are okay in these energies. We don't understand. We're just like them. We don't understand these energies. We just know that we think we're living a life, but a dog is not living a life. That y'all have taken away animals' ability to live a life, a true life, the true life. Like that doctor has taken away that man's ability when he sex changed him from living a true life, a true life. But that was that man's choice. But was it his choice to change his sex? Or was he encouraged? Was he enticed in some manner? Was circumstances around his environment encouraging? Um, Much like psychological encouragements that our young men get when they want to go out here and make a rap tape and become rappers or get on TV or something. A lot of us want to be on TV, want to be famous, want to do this. Is that a psychological programming that's been put into us? Yes, I would say definitely that is a psychological program that's been put into you and me to want these things that are not good for us. And to think that those things that we have are not good for us. We think we have to get away from that, the simple things, and go to the more things that we think are high on the on our charts, which is not high, and it does not give us any kind of life. Some things can bring you death. Majority of the things on this earth will bring you death. The simple things like being in the garden, that's life. But simple things like being able to build things, I realize my nature says my love is architecture and homes. but my logic says, oh, you're going to need money for those things, so you need to go and try to get on TV to do these things because the programming is real. You need money. But if we stop and think, there's other ways we can do that besides the ways that we've been enticed towards. And it was easy to entice us because they have put us in a condition where there was no money. We have already been conquered. Our land has already been confiscated. So they were able to conjure up these energies within us. And the same thing as controlling the dog by taking it from its wolf status to a domesticated animal status, and making the man want to be a woman that he could never be. So how are we supposed to raise children being taken from our nature? Only evil. And if you, like I said before, if you hate life, This is what you do. Not when you love life. That's not love for life. That's hate for life. So next time somebody wants to say you're racist, you're this and that, they have some nerves because they have no respect for life of any sort on this planet. They never did. And it's all because of the color white. And I'll leave it at that. So thank you guys for being here. With that said, true love, we're still seeking true love, real peace, and the higher self from within ourselves, not from outside of ourselves, because that is nothing but death once we realize it. Till then, till next time, peace. And thank you, Bench Thinker, that guy from Texas. Southern Country Roots. Thank you guys for being here. And peace. And may your day be beautiful today.